Hey guys, so today we're going to try something different. Not different for me, but different from what I've cooked before. I've done a bunch of stuff for you, well, actually for me, but I let you guys join in the party. But one thing we never done is, I've never done red beans. And this is like a Puerto Rican staple. Hello, arroz con habichuela. I mean, this is what we're born out of. That's how we get women to get the booty. We give them rice, beans, and some aguacate. So the deal is that it's going to be a very simple meal. It's very, very traditional, very Puerto Rican. It's one of our staples. So it's going to be rice, white rice, red beans, and then we're also going to do some Bistec Encebollado, which is basically steak smothered in onions, Puerto Rican style. It is very easy to make. It is fantastic. The taste is delicious. And when all is said and done, you'll be getting a little bit of flavor of the island wherever you're at. So let me show you some of the ingredients that we're going to use. We start off with some good scotch. I used to be on the Cheva stuff. Now I just do single malt, baby. It's called progress. So we're going to use some butternut squash. I usually like calabaza, which is a different type of squash, but it's difficult to get here. We're going to use white rice, of course, Goya products, all the ones that you can imagine. The seasonings that I'm going to use are bay leaves. I'm going to use some basil. I'm going to use some oregano. We're going to use this, which is basically cured pork. And what you do with that, you start sauteing it before you put the beans in, and it will give it a nice, flavor, ham type flavor. And then you get some cube steak. If you can find them pre-done, that's great. It's basically just small, thin steaks, tenderized, and they mallet them. Very easy to find. But if you can't, get some small steaks, and you can just pound them, and that'll be about the same. And then, of course, as with everything, I only use Goya products. Goya, si el Goya tiene que ser bueno, but these people don't call me, alright? I need to stop working, man. This is not working for me. So anyway, I'm going to stop now and start prepping, and then we're going to start with the basics. I'll show you how to go from it step by step, and then hopefully when all is said and done, you'll have something really delicious that you can savor with your family, friends, or just yourself, man. Alright? So thanks a lot. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. We are now almost in process to start. Put the ingredients apart. So I've got my potatoes cut into small pieces, my squash. I've got the ham set up there. And if you come over here and take a look, I took a couple of onions and I just put them in here. What we're going to do is, I love olive oil. Some people can use other stuff. Coconut oil is really good too. Canola, whatever you want to do. But basically, you're going to put this on medium, right? And you're going to start to saute it. If I love this stuff, if you can find it, it's difficult to find. You can't get it anywhere. I know you can get it on Amazon, okay? And it's good. It's got just about everything that you need, and the flavor is excellent. So I just put a couple of big squirts in there, and I put a little bit more for those that aren't here. We're just going to start to saute this, okay? So we're going to try to get all of this going. As it starts to heat up, we're going to start putting in the ham, okay? Now this is the way I do it. There are about as many variations as there are women in Puerto Rico, okay? Because everybody does it a little bit different. This is the way I learned how to do it, and I learned by myself, learning to teach myself. Because my mom was a great mom, but Mama did not cook. So, my sister did though. Alright, God bless her. Alright, so we're going to start sauteing this on low for a while, just to get it to where the ham is starting to let out some of the flavor. I'm probably going to put a little bit more onion in there because I don't think there's enough. And also, I'm going to put in a dollop of garlic. Again, a lot of people don't like garlic, or like to use regular garlic. I like the minced variety because I think that it distributes the flavor a lot better. And I kind of enjoy every time I bite into a little piece. So we're going to let this saute there for a bit, and we'll be back. And then by the time I come back, I'll start talking about the next steps, which are going to be putting in the tomato sauce, and then letting that boil for a little bit before we add some water and the other ingredients, which are the potatoes, the beans, and the squash. Okay, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, guys. First things first. Here's a little bit of strawberry margarita for my baby. There you go, sweetie. So just want to show you what it looks like. So I've got all the ingredients in there. I cut a little bit more onion, put in the adobo. I put in the pinch of garlic. I put in a pinch of oregano, a pinch of tomillo, a pinch of basil, and I'm gonna leave the bay leaves for later. But that's what it looks like. Let it simmer like that. Stir it around every once in a while. Make sure that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. What you want to do is start to get that flavor from the beef. From the ham, from the pork, to start coming out. It really gives it a flavorful sensation when you bite into one of those things. Now this is going to be here for a while. The next step after that is I'm going to put 1 whole can of salsa de tomate. Then I'm going to let that boil. I'm going to bring it up to a boil. Once it boils, then I'm going to bring it down, and then I'll start adding a little bit of water and all of the other ingredients so that we can get the beans and the potatoes and squash all cooked up and soft. Okay, and as I do that, I'll start the rice as well, and then I'll start preparing the actual cube steak. The rice is going to be really simple. I'll show you my way of doing it. Again, there's so many variations as there are people, so bear with me. We'll be right back. It's already smelling off the hook, so yeah. I know it's going to be great. Así que ya saben. Saludo y salud. Hey, okay, so I wanted to show you just so you can see what I meant by boiling. Right now, the only thing that's in here is the stuff that I put in. So it's the sofrito, the onions, the ham, the garlic, and then I put some a seasoning called romero. Just a little bit goes a long way. Some comino, just a little bit goes a long way. Put some bay leaves in there, and it's a nice slow boil. If you can see it again, see it starts to bubble up and it starts to do that, what I call babote, that thing right there. That's good. If it does that, that's good. It's all essence. So what we're gonna do, I added 1 can of tomato sauce, and then immediately I added another can of water. So I took the remaining tomato sauce, mixed it with water, put it in there. So now we're gonna add the beans, okay? Just take a can of Goya beans, whatever beans. This is the secret about beans. They're all really good. You got white beans, you got pinto beans, you got pink beans, you got red beans, you got dark red beans, you got gandule, you have habas. It's all good, it's all good. All right, so you're just gonna pour that in there. Make sure it goes all in there. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit more water to that equation. And then I'm gonna let that boil by itself a little. Once that's boiled, that starts to boil, I'm going to add all of the potatoes and then I'm going to leave it there until it finishes cooking, probably for about another half hour or so. Okay. Now, the way that I do it, I start to taste it. Is it too salty? Is it not too salty? Because I really don't follow any type of recipes. I don't have any measurements or anything like that. So I cook by taste. So then I start with, I tweak it, right? Like with anything else. So I start tweaking it to my flavor. So I suggest you do the same with yours. But it's going to be really good. It's so exciting. Actually, my girl was just telling me, Amy, that 2 things, by the way. Mom, I'm sorry. You did cook. You just don't love cooking the way I love cooking, or Wally loved cooking. God bless her. So thank you, Amy, for that. And also, she was just telling me how amazing it smells in here already, and all we're doing is just the base. So once I start getting all the other stuff done, it's going to be really, really crazy good. All right, so thanks again for hanging around. In a few minutes, I'll start doing the rest. I'm not going to show you the rest because basically, like I said, I'm just going to let that boil. I'm going to put the squash, and I'm going to put the potatoes in there, and I'm going to let that stand for around half an hour cooking there, and then just tweak it into my flavor. I'll be back to show you how to do the white rice and to show you how to do the bistec, okay? Thanks. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so now we're going to do the carne, right? The beef part. Before I show, look at these. Look at these. Oh, my Hispanic brothers and sisters, they know exactly what this is. Guineitos niños, titiaros in Venezuela. I don't know how you call them elsewhere, but these are delicious. And we were able to find them here in Maryland, go figure. All right, so side step. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you what we've got going on. So I found the cube steak, right? And it's basic steak. You see it's already been tenderized. But if not, get yourself one of these mallets. The mallet is really cheap. It's probably like $3. and then you just take the tape and you mash it. The idea is to make it tender, okay? You can take any small type of chuck or whatever, as long as it's thin. Just bring it down. It's actually kind of fun. You know, it's always fun for your neighbors to hear you banging, but they won't know what you're doing, whether you're like, you know, putting up a I don't know, a picture frame or whatever. But it really does help the meat out, and it lets the flavor seep in, I think, a lot too. So these were already done, but just wanted to show you how simple it was if you can find it to do. All right, so that's that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a large frying pan. So I got this one, and I'm going to start off by putting in the onions, right? So I cut the onions in thick rings. I like them thick. Other people like them, you know, a little bit thinner because they break down more. But I like that crispy chunkiness of onions. Some folks don't. Okay, so I'll just throw that in there. When you think it's too many onions, you're wrong. They're not too many. Just throw more in there. It's all gonna be good. And then we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there, just to get them sauteed. Just start breaking them down a little bit. And then we're gonna use a couple of other ingredients that you probably have at home already to get this stuff done. So I'm gonna put this on low. Okay, I'm gonna throw a little bit of olive oil in there. I know I said I love olive oil, but I love olive oil. Now come over here. Come over here. Look at this. Got this on 3, and this puppy is going full blast. Hello, mira eso, ¿ah? Eso va a estar de show. De show. All right. We already did the tasting. I don't think I can get it any better for myself. The taste is spectacular right now. Ese saborcito boricua con sazoncito y un poquito de hierbas mágicas para que la cosa se ponga rica, okay? So I'm just gonna get this sauteed. Once I get this sauteed, we'll put in the beef. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Just let me break this down a little bit and get it to where it's a little bit soft, alright? Thanks, guys. Okay, so take a look over here. We're getting the onions. They're starting to break down, get caramelized. Son bien ricas. El olor ahora mismo es espectacular. Si te gustan las cebollas, tú sabes lo sabroso que es esto. If you're not an onion person, then you're probably just going into like spasms right now. But the smell is fantastic, and this is great. So what we did here is I just took the meat and just lightly put some adobo on it. Just lightly. I love adobo. It's basically garlic salt with a little bit of pepper in it. I mean, for all intents and purposes. But I don't know. I've been cooking with it forever, and I cannot use it. Put it that way. Everything I use this on makes it taste great. So once that starts getting a little bit softer, the actual onions, we're going to put the meat in there, and what we're going to do is start letting it brown. And once it gets a little bit brown, we're going to start putting some additional ingredients in there, like a little bit of water, a little bit of vinegar, just to make some of the sauce that it's going to come with it. If we think it smells good now, believe me, esto va a estar fuera de serie en unos cuantos minutos. All right, guys? Be back in a few. Hey guys, so we're back. As you can see, the onions are already pretty much caramelized. I'm going to take another big heaping of garlic, because I love garlic. Your mileage may vary, so if you're not a garlic person, then obviously don't put that in. But both me and Amy Bear, we both like it. So this is about ready to accept the next step, which is going to be to put the meat. So like I said, we took a little bit of the adobo, lightly coated it with adobo, not anything crazy. All right, so we're going to just put the beef in there. And this is the way I do it, right? So I put it on top of the onions for a little bit, and then what I do is I cover it just for a few seconds, a few minutes. And the idea behind that is just to get some of that onion flavor in there. Once that's done, then we'll go to the next step, which is putting on the garlic. Putting on the vinegar. You got to use about a 1/4 cup of vinegar. Seems like a lot, but it's really what opens up the flavor, and it's really delicious. And I know people that put in a lot more than a 1/4 cup. I usually just go by sight, so I'll just do this kind of stuff on it. And then you mix it up, let it cook, let it brown. It's going to be really good. Pretty soon I'm going to be starting the rice. I like to do that at the end because I like my white rice to be very, very fresh. And it only takes around a good 20 minutes to do. The beans, as you can see, I mean, the flavor on this, Amy, how is the flavor?
Amazing. Amazing.
And the flavor on this is going to be fantastic. And white rice is white rice. It doesn't taste like anything but white rice. It's great. I'm going to show you the way I do it. It's very simple for me. It's a surefire way to make sure, because we have a thing que se llama arroz amogollado, right? That's when you put too much water and it clumps up. Or you have it where it's ahumado. That means that it burns and it has this smoke type flavor to it. You don't want that either. Or you have the you know, if I had the right instrument, we can have pegao, which is where you let the bottom part get crispy and you burn the little rice on the, so let's not even go there, okay? That's gonna be in a few seconds. Let me get this started, and pretty soon we'll be back on. I'll put in the vinegar, I'll let that start cooking, and I'll start with the rice. So, venimos ahora, okay? We're back. Listen, by the way, I wanted to say something. If you guys don't know, if you're into old school salsa, si te gusta la salsa vieja, la gruesa, la gorda, XM Radio has a station called Rumbone. Oh my God, that shit is off the hook. Lo tengo hace como media hora y lo que están poniendo es descarga tras descarga, cosas ricas, mano. Ahí lo que hay es candela, gruesa, pura salsa, okay? So, vamos a mirar. This is what we're doing. As you can see, they started to brown, so I've started to move it around. The steak themselves are going to let off a little bit of juice, right? You want to make sure that you don't burn the onions. And now we're going to do what is a little bit like, you know, you take the white vinegar and just pour it on top. Cover it up. Leave it for a little bit. Keep on moving it. You want to make sure that they brown evenly. You don't want to overcook it either because it'll get too leathery, too hard. You want to make sure that it's nice and tender and flavorful. I'm going to stop now, put some stuff away, and then we're going to go with the rice. Like I said, this is the way I do rice. It works for me every single time. I don't get it too salty. I don't get it too nothing. It just comes out great. And if you follow these instructions, your rice will probably come out great too. All right? Be back in a second. All right, so we're gonna do the rice. We don't normally use rice here. We don't normally eat rice because I'm trying to lose weight, so we're on this whole no carbs thing. But my baby wanted this. We keep on listening to La Perla when she says un buen plato de bistec encebollado, and I keep telling her, oh my God, that is so good. So today we decided to do it. And so let's go with the rice. So the rice, basically, I just pour the rice that I think I'm gonna need. You know, let's do this whole little thingy, this whole little packet. This packet was 1 pound. Alright, does that seem like a lot? I don't know. So what we're gonna do is, if you see the rice, the way I do it, right, is I like to put water into the rice. My hands are clean. Until the water covers the rice. So the rice should be flat on the bottom and the water should be covering the rice. And then if I can put my finger and it gets to the top here, so that's my measurement. Not scientific by any means, but it seems to work for me. So what I do there is then again a little bit of olive oil, because I love olive oil. You guys all heard that. Put some olive oil in there. Oil also, when you put it in rice, it allows it not to stick together, not to clump up. And then some salt. Be careful with the salt. It's a lot easier with rice as well with anything else to actually add more salt later than to take away the salty flavor. So I'm very conservative on the salt, just a bit. And quite frankly, the rest of the stuff that you're making is going to be so flavorful that it's probably not really going to matter at all. While this is going, what we're going to do is now we're going to take the rice and we're going to move it around, right? And put it on blast. You want to put it on high. The idea with the rice is that you mix all the oil and the salt in, right, with the water, and you want to put it on high, on the highest setting that your stove has, because you want it to start boiling hard. When it boils hard, it's going to do a couple of things, right? It's going to start evaporating all the water, right? The water is going to be start to go, and you're going to see that water level is going to start going down. Once you start seeing the water level going down, I'm going to show you one of the things that I do to make sure that they always come out right. While we're doing this, let me just take a look at my bistecs. Oh man, the smell that's coming off of this thing is crazy. Alright, so move these around. Some folks make it with a little bit less water, but I like that. I like that juice. I like the jugo is what I call it, del bistec. So that's why I make it a little bit more watery. Now is the time to take some pepper, brown pepper, and just throw it over there. And again, this may be something that you don't like if you're not a person that's really into pepper at all. I, on the other hand, love pepper. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna let this cover it up. Just let the vapor escape a little bit to dry it out just a little bit, and it's starting to look really good. Once it starts getting a little bit browner, the flavor starts seeping into that meat. Amy's gonna be able to tell you later when she comments on this video about what she thinks about this. So that's that. The rice, I'll be back as soon as the rice is actually boiling to the point where I want you guys to see, and then we'll take it from there. Okay? Thanks. Anyway, we tasted it. It's off the hook. I always, at the end, always, I put a fresh new onion on top of it so I can get that little crunchiness, and then we don't move it anymore. So now, take a look at this. See the rice here? It is starting to get to the point where it's evaporating all the water, and you're actually able to see the actual rice itself. I know it looks like it's burning or something, but it's really not. What you want to do is you want to make sure that most of the water gets out. Once we start, within a few seconds, we're gonna see a little bit of the top of the rice go there. But while we're doing that, I want to talk about one thing that's really important to me, and that's happening right now, and you guys should know about it. What's going on in Venezuela? The country of Venezuela is being completely oppressed by its government, and it's something that really needs to be looked at. It's not right. It's a travesty to humanity, and the fact that the American media is not even talking about it is reprehensible. We're talking and covering stuff about an airplane that fell out of the sky 3-4 weeks ago. Listen, if the airplane fell out of the sky and you were able to find it, come back to me and let me know, and we'll talk about it. But for right now, Venezuela should be important. People are dying, okay? Anyway, come back. Sorry. So you see that there? That's when it starts drying. What you're going to do now is take it off from high, put it all the way to low. You're going to move it once, okay? And if you're smart and you don't move the whole thing on the bottom, you're going to get that little stuff that I told you. That's called pegado. These are Teflon pans, so it's a little bit more difficult to do, but it is possible with practice. All right, so look, what you do here is you make sure that you move it once, you put it on completely low, all the way down, and then you just cover it. Leave it alone for about at least a good 15 minutes, anywhere from 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, come back and move it once, cover it again, leave it on low. Don't touch it. It's not ready, it's not done. I know that you've got the beans going there, you got this going there, and you got some rice, and you're like, oh my God, I just need to taste this. That's okay, and I do that, you know, but I'm the chef, so I have to, you know, it's like a thing. But once this is done, we'll serve it on a plate, we'll present it to you guys, show you how it looks, and you know, Amy's never had it. This is all for her, and hopefully she enjoys it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. All right? Okay, great. So it's been around 10 minutes. I'm looking at it. I don't think it's gonna take 15. These are new pots for me, so I'm not really accustomed to making rice in this one. But when you start to see that the rice is starting to get dry and kind of flaky, okay, that's when you want to take it, and you want to take it in and move it. And as you move it, you want to kind of make sure that it loosens up and it breaks up. Okay. And right now you're going to be tempted to taste it, but it is not cooked yet. So you're going to get a little bit of a crunchiness. I mean, it still tastes great, but it is not cooked yet. So what you do here is you cover it up again, leave it on low. Don't do anything to it. Completely covered. Don't let any of the air escape, as I'm doing with this one or this one. But instead, leave it like that. 10 more minutes, and it should be set. And you're going to have what I would consider just like perfect white rice. Loose, grainy, delicious, not too salty, not too anything. Rice should be like water, you know? You don't want your water to taste like too many things. It should taste like water, like nothing. Rice complements the rest of the stuff. So in a few minutes we're going to be ready. I'm going to, well actually the next step is going to show you a fixed plate of what we're going to sit down and chow down on. And hopefully you are able to follow my instructions and get this done. I hope that's my intention by doing this. If you guys have any suggestions, anything, let me know. The very next thing that we're going to be trying to do, if I can find plantains, is piononos. It's this great dish, this great Puerto Rican dish, and I absolutely love them. It's hard to get plantains here in this neck of the woods, but if I can find some good ripe ones, we'll hook this up. And anyway, so we'll be back in a few. That's it. It's done. Simple. I mean, this doesn't take magic. And I'm definitely not like the best cook in the world. I just obviously like to eat, and I like to do this. So we'll be back. We'll take a shot of the actual dish presented and take it from there. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I appreciate comments. So just let me know how I'm doing. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Okay, great. And this is the end result. I mean, arroz con habichuelas and bistec encebollado. And we'll let you go now because I'm about to hit this hard, okay? Thanks for watching. I hope it comes out great for you. Let me know what else you guys want to see. Bye.